Hi everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Anurag, and we have our teammates, three of them. So Bharat, Karthik, and Vivek. So we have taken it on the Volvo cars. So the module name is Organization and Strategy, and this presentation aims to be critically examine Volvo's strategic position in the context of ongoing global shift towards electric mobility, a transformation that is fundamentally disrupting in traditional automotive scapes. We will explore how the Volvo cars is responding to these changes, both in terms of the corporate direction and operational choices. The focus will be identifying internal capabilities and external pressures that shape it in the current strategy. Through this analysis, we aim to provide strategic recommendations to help Volvo navigate the disruptive period and strengthen its long-term competitiveness. The broader aim is to the broader aim of this project is to critique how effectively Volvo is positional in this era of transformation, taking into account their background, global footprint, industry dynamics, and the strategic challenges they face in achieving full electrification by 2030. So, Volvo Cars is basically found in 1927 in Gothenburg, Sweden. So, it has a legacy of innovation and commitment to safety, one of the most significant contributions to the automotive industry. Was the introduction of the three-point seatbelt, a symbol of how the company prioritizes people and protection. In 2020, a pivotal moment occurred when Geely Holding Group, a Chinese multinational, acquired Volvo. This acquisition not only brought financial stability but also helped the brand to expand globally, especially in Asia. So it has transformed into a forwarding-looking automaker. Now focusing heavily on electric mobility and sustainability. Today, the company employs for over 102,000 people globally across manufacturing, engineering, research and development, and the corporate services. The company core business is now centered around the design and production of high quality electric vehicles, underscoring its vision to become a leader in the sustainable sector. Volvo operates in over 180 countries, which gives a significant reach and resilience. Its strong markets, including Europe, where the brand is well established, China, which is rapidly adopting EVs, and the United States, where Volvo is actively growing its footprint. But this was more than a product launch. It was a strategic milestone. It demonstrated Volvo intent to go beyond hybrids and plug-in models towards a fully electric lineup. The company has committed to becoming a 100% electric car manufacturer by 2030. This aligns with climatic policy goals as well as increasing consumer demand for the sustainable transportation options. This bold vision positions Volvo as one of the few traditional car makers aggressively pushing for a carbon neutral future, both in product and manufacturing process. In 2024, Volvo reported revenues of approximately 40 billion, including indicating strong financial health despite global challenges like supply chain disruptions and economic uncertainty. A key point of the progress is that as 2023 electric vehicles accounted for 25% of the total unit sales, a solid indication that Volvo EV strategy is going traction. Of course, the competitive environment is intense. Volvo is up against EV first companies like Tesla and BYD, as well as legacy luxury brands like BMW, Mercedes, who are also investing heavily in the this electrification. Despite semiconductor shortage, rising battery material costs, and geopolitical tensions affecting trade and logistics, Volvo has managed to remain profitable. This is thanks to strategic investment in EV. Volvo performance suggests a careful balancing act, investing in innovation while managing short-term financial stability. Thank you. My friend Bharat will be continuing the next slides.
Yeah, thank you, Anurag. Hi everyone. My name is Bharat, and I'm tells about that strategic intent of Volvo cars and Volvo Motors. And these slide tells about that the vision statement of Volvo focus on providing the liberation of via sustainable and secure mobility services. And also the three-pronged approach and also vision and mission, strategic priorities, aim, and be the most of desired and successful transport of Volvo groups, and driving prosperity, extreme electrification and decarbonization, and export to new markets around the globe. And also the Volvo cars, the net zero of greenhouse gases emissions value of chain in Volvo Group in 2025, and its objective revolve around the dominating the luxury electric car industry through technological advancement and high security levels and environmental care. Moreover, Volvo aims to achieve a net zero greenhouse gas emissions footprint spanning its value chain in 2040, alongside of environmental stewardship and competitive strategic integrations. Moreover, these three-pronged approach of net zero in 2040, and also there is a two types of aspirations, values, a code of conduct, and moreover, the Volvo aims to achieve a net zero greenhouse gas emissions footprint of spanning its value chain in 2040, and strategy of integration. And coming to the next slide, this slide tells about that Porter's five forces of Volvo cars and its motors. And the Porter's five forces is used to study the external forces that determine the strategy of Volvo. And the threat of new entrants is moderate since barriers are great, as it requires much capital and technology. And there is a three types of for like three types of five forces of a force impact Volvo's position. And the impacts are moderate, high, and very high. And threat of new entrants of EV market entry requires high capital and tech expertise, limiting new players. And also bargaining power of buyers and threat of substitutes and competitive rivalry. And Tesla, Volkswagen AG, and German brands heavily invest in EV innovation and pricing power of in 2025. The premium consumers have multiple alternatives in the global EV market. And also these its moderate since barriers are great, as it requires much capital and technology. Supplier power is strong, and there is a dependence on a limited number of international battery and semiconductor suppliers, um, which augments the cost and risk. The power of the buyers is high, as well as premium consumers are demanding sustainable products. And the premium consumers have multiple alternatives in the global EV market, ride sharing and public transport, and present growing competition in the urban areas. And as well as premium consumers are demanding sustainable products, there is a challenging of substitutes such as ride sharing and public transport. The rival competition is stiff, with the Syncasia, Tesla, Volkswagen AG, and Mercedes advancing to be a most innovative, and Volvo needs to keep up. And there is a forces like threat of new entrants, bargaining power of suppliers, and bargaining power of buyers, threat of substitutes, and competitive rivalry. And the new entrants is moderate since barriers are great, as it requires much capital and technology suppliers power is strong, and there is a dependence on a limited number of international battery and semiconductor suppliers. And coming to the next slide, and these slides tells about that competitors of the company. And there is a much competition of Volvo motors, like competitive presence driving Volvo EV strategy, and requirement of supply chain resilience and innovative focus. And Volvo operates in an industry where constant innovation is an ongoing factor. Major players like Mercedes and Tesla are pushing the boundaries in the autonomous and EV market. Supply chain security has become an emerging factor for maintaining the competitive edges and to remain relevant. And these Tesla and Mercedes put strong pressure on Volvo with competition in the EV market, Bremen Island in 2023. And the requirement of supply chain resilience and innovation focuses in Volvo's and also Mercedes and uh, BMW. And these boundaries in the autonomous and EV market, supply chain security has become an emerging factor for maintaining the competitive edge and to remain the relevant. Volvo EV needs to invest in its research and development on a roadmap generation that can directly shape the rival's aggressive strategy. And friends, I am done with my slides, and next let's continue by my friend Karthik.
Hello, my name is Karthik, and the topic is about automotive industry trends. The global EV market is rapidly rising with a CAGR of 23.4%, which drives sustainability, regulation, and customer demand. The government of the government are enforcing zero emission targets that force automakers to transition quicker towards sustainable production. Supply chain restriction, such as raw material or semiconductor supply, is a key concern factor. Hmm. And the supply chain remain fragile post-pandemic and major shift toward autonomous mobility from Volvo to imagine that business model. And the next slide is Volvo's industry position. Volvo potentially holds the moats. However, the growing EV market share globally. The USA market is highly competitive but provides expansive opportunities for Volvo. Europe remains its core baseline, and China offers scalability due to the rising demand for EV market adoption. In Europe, Volvo has strong brand loyalty and a strategic market growth opportunity in the Chinese market. Volvo faces higher competition from the startups and tech, tech giants who are set to enter the autonomous and EV spaces. And the next slide is resource-based view. Here, by using the resource-based view or RVB lens, the internal strength of Volvo has been determined to lie in the premium brand identity and innovation EV architecture. Partnership with tech leaders such as Google and Northvolt enhances the digital and battery capability of Volvo. Volvo maintains luxury EV production capability. Brand equality in sustainability and safety management has been maintained, and these resources are rare, variable, and hard to imitate, which describes sustainability competitive advantage in the changing landscape. And the next topic is said by Vivek.
Hi, this is Vivek. Today my topic is business model evolution. The Volvo business model evolution mainly targets the premium EV segments with the innovation options of ownership, such as the card subscription. It integrates sustainability with circular economic practices such as battery reuse. The battery in the battery is faced with the challenge in scaling up production and managing the supply chain risk, especially with components such as semiconductors and battery cells. And I want to go to the next slide. The topic is strategic options. Global EV manufacturing expansion is a trending research and development in automation. Such as in order to maintain the static agility, Volvo needs to expand their EV output, especially in the emerging and new markets. And entering the emerging markets such as Southeast Asia, investment in the autonomous tech can help in maintaining long-term differentiation, especially enhancing the supply chain resilience and sourcing locally and diversifying suppliers. And next one is conclusion recommendations. The two theories that are used to analysis the strategic position of Volvo are the Porter five forces and resource-based view of strategy. In order to analyze the strategic position of Volvo, we used Porter's five forces to investigate external forces and RBV to investigate internal forces. The film is working in a competitive international market where there is a growing pressure on the parts of EV disruptors as well as regulatory agencies. such as the industry rivalry indicated by the model by Porsche was huge and rivals rivals were becoming increasingly competitive with the startup companies of electric vehicles that represented a challenge due to their flexibility in the terms of business models. The quality, brand equity, safety, innovation, and sustainability are strategic values of Volvo that strengthen its position in the market. Some of the examples of such resources are the worldwide reputation of the commitment to safety and the early shift to electrification. Safety technology envisaged by the brand, along with its focus on sustainability, largely allows it to stand out in the overcrowded market. And so these are the references we our team collecting from above the assignment. And thank you.